question for you.
All right, here we go.
How do you circumcise a homeless man? Kick your mom at the chin.
I didn't like your speech. It didn't really inspire me. But he called me a pussy and nobody calls me pussy, so...
Welcome to The Good, The Bad, and The Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first with an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with actor and voice actor extraordinaire Gary Chalk, who has a little role as the postman in this movie. The sequel that we're going to be covering, The Predator, not Predator, The Predator. And Gary just had so many stories from his career, and it's great that the guest that we have today doing this kind of has a connection. The Fly 2 is the pinnacle moment in Gary Chalk's career and just the behind the scenes of Scorby's death and how much he loved that. We went back to that 3 or 4 times throughout the interview. Man, Gary was a blast. But yeah, so The Predator. Ugh. Can't wait to talk about this one. But before I say anything about it, I got to introduce you to my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Doug, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. The movie, it took me like 3 sittings. I kind of said this to our guests before we started, but not in like a bad way. It wasn't like it was like bad, good, or indifferent. I'm not going to spoil anything yet, but it was interesting. It was like there was a turn in this movie that it kind of confused me, but
well, this is the first time I saw this movie, and I was not a fan.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go through all the details why, but yeah, I'm not a fan.
Wow. Okay. So say no more. Let's get our guest on. This is so hard because he's done so many, but I'm going to try to rattle him off. I was trying to think of him while I was walking out to the studio shed. So the first time that our horror sequel expert, Chris Egan, joined us, the first one was Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, The Fly 2, Return to Sleepaway Camp. I know Hellraiser Inferno's in there. And missing probably 3 or 4 of them. Oh, Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
This is my 6th time.
You mentioned Amityville?
No.
Oh, Amityville.
So this is your 7th time.
Oof.
Wow.
Okay.
And that is the voice of our horror sequel expert, Chris Egan. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. This is probably the first time I've been mad at you.
Really?
Yeah. This is my 2nd time seeing this movie. And I think I was more confused by it this time than I was the first time. And I already knew what it was going in.
So you can imagine how I felt.
Yeah.
Now, is this the one thing I do love about this movie, which I did appreciate about this movie? Shane Black directed it. Shane Black, Fred Dekker reunited and wrote this movie, which is pretty cool. I don't know if they broke up or anything, so maybe the reunited term isn't right, but it was cool seeing their name in the credits, and you definitely saw that type of humor in this movie. There's a whole character that is like probably Fred Dekker chose to write with Thomas Jane's character in this movie, which I don't understand why that was the thing.
I feel like there was almost too much comedy. Like they threw comedy in our faces.
Yeah, way too much.
Because some of it hit, but a lot of it did not.
No, a lot of it felt like I was talking to a 16-year-old who was really trying to get some zingers off, and they're all falling flat, and I just want to punch them in the face.
Yeah. I also don't appreciate the throwback lines that they do a few times.
Yeah, throwback lines and like weird, like weak references and just weird jokes that like they don't sit well. In a 2018 movie.
Yeah, no, it was cool that they referenced the other movies. Like I really wasn't expecting that. Like, this reminds me of what happened in 87 and 99. And I'm like, Wow. Okay. This is like
something. Yeah. References are one thing, but when you're just repeating dialogue that
get to the chopper,
repeating it. Yeah, you're repeating it to just get it in there.
Yeah,
and it has no bearing on what's actually happening. That's the problem. Referring to past events, that's a good thing. That keeps your continuity contained. You can draw a line from the first movie to this one, though you should probably stop after the third one.
Which one was the third one?
That's Predators from 2010.
Well, this one could have been called Predators 2.
Yeah, not great, but a solid sequel.
No, I'm saying this one could be called Predators because it's more than one Predator.
Yeah. Well, there's the only one that has a single one is the original movie. All the other ones, there's more than one.
Oh, then it should have stopped.
One thing that was pretty cool that they put in this, because Shane was in the first movie. He plays Hawkins in the first movie. The fact that in this movie, which is cool, Jake Busey's in the movie, and he's actually the son of his dad's character from the second one, which is kind of, they didn't really mention it at all. It was like kind of just a line. It's not like it was like, man, if you're a huge fan of the second one, you're going to love this. If you never saw it, it's going to go right over your head. So like the dude deep cuts like that.
Yeah. He doesn't even mention, he doesn't mention past events. He just drops his name. And if you know the character's name from part 2, then you know he's playing his own father's kid again in a movie.
And the fact that you knew that because Shane Blacker was trying to get Arnold in this movie, and there was a part in this movie, it's almost like he had it written and he just deleted it because they mentioned there was one guy, I don't know which character it was, mentioned like the one guy back in 87, and it was like, oh, this is where Dutch was going to be in it. But I think Arnold wanted to be in more of the movie. He didn't want to be like a cameo.
Yeah. This movie went through a lot of changes, a lot of re-edits. And if you can't tell from watching it, it's chopped to death.
Yeah. Was the big Predator a CGI, all CGI?
I think so. I'm sure there were a few insert shots that it was like a mask or makeup or whatever, but for the most part, it was absolutely fully CGI.
Okay.
And it actually, funny enough, watching it like on Blu-ray at home, I felt like the CGI blended a little bit better than it did when I saw it in the theater. Like in the theater, it just looked like a cartoon character, like walking through this movie, because everything else, all this, like the smaller Predators that were in more of the movie, those were all guys in suits. So as soon as that big one shows up, it's like watching, like the Hulk jump in alongside like the other Avengers. Like he's obviously not really there.
Right.
Just Hulk's done better than this.
Are you talking about, were the Predator dogs real?
No.
Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about them, but
no. Yeah.
All right. We'll get there.
We'll get to that too, because that made no sense it made zero sense at all. But no, we'll get into it. So 20th Century Fox, it's always cool to see that like in the opening. And then we like cut to, and it's like this Star Wars chase, the opening of the movie. Because honestly, I was so confused as to what was going on until they kind of told us like 30 or 45 minutes in, like what the one Predator was doing. Because why would we think that a Predator would want to do something good?
He does a few things good, right? Because he leaves a gift later on.
He does leave a gift.
So is he really a bad guy? Because I have a theory who the real bad guy is. The kid.
The kid.
Because if it wasn't for him, they don't come to Earth.
That is true.
Yeah.
So
I will say this about the opening. If you've seen the first 3 movies, even though they're their own separate stories, the Predator is, it's treated like a villain, but it does have like a
purpose,
moral compass, and like it has its own set of rules and ethics and such. So when you see the first three, and actually by the time you get to the third one, they do show that there's different factions of them, and there are like bigger ones and smaller ones and such. So going into this one, having seen the third one, that side of it made sense. But this is the first time that they gave us one that was like 10 feet tall or whatever. So that does bring in a whole new side of it. But there are things in this movie that made sense, if you watch the other three in its own way. That's kind of like building blocks.
What was the Predator always like human like mentality? I mean, I know in the first one, he wants to fight Arnold and hit, but like he does something in this movie that really made me want to turn the movie off. When he's in the truck with the arm. Okay, so like is
the thumbs up.
So were they in this? I don't remember the other ones. So they're intelligent. They aren't like animal. They're not, they are an intelligent species, but yeah, that's the first time that they've done something humorous like that. And that's just Shane Black's fucking humor. Okay.
The guy needs to stop making movies.
So then we cut to after we see like this, the chase happening. You see the ship crashing and we see that the one predator is flying it. Then we cut to the jungle. We see a sniper. It's very like Arnold-esque, the way you just see his eyes. And he's sniping. And you get like this really serious situation. These people are kidnapped. There's a cartel. And these guys are like betting on if these people are going to get executed. Jokingly.
See, I didn't like the main character. I just felt like he was trying to be too badass.
McKenna? Was he? Right?
Yeah.
Nah.
No. He was like the poor man's Brad Pitt.
Poor man's Brad Pitt.
He was just, I don't know. I didn't buy his role. I like the other guy better. The black guy.
Oh, he was great. Nebraska. I liked him a lot.
If he was the main guy, I'm in.
Yeah. No, McKenna was, I don't know. You just like, and you know what's funny? McKenna, like in the army gear. So in this scene, he sees the plane crashing, and like while he's looking at this, he's like, "You seeing this, boys?" And he snipes the cartel guy right at the right time. And then when they go off into the woods, that scene was so. The effects were really cool. Like some of the stuff that you saw when he goes to the ship and finds it, and he sees like one of his guys. But when that guy is like hanging, like right, isn't he strung up all? He's dead in the tree, right? Haynes.
Mauled to like flesh is like off him.
Yeah. And then doesn't he kill his friend? Yeah, he kills too. Doesn't he hit the button he puts the wrist thing on and hits the button and it shoots out and splits his friend in half.
He kills his friend?
Yeah. Doesn't he split the guy right in half? He doesn't kill a predator.
No, the predator killed him
afterwards.
Yeah, but the guy that got split in half is the guy that he's already dead. He's been flayed.
Right.
And then the blade flies through the air and then it cuts the hanging body in half.
But that's still fucked up. That's a half of a kill or something. So him and his dad, no wonder his kid's all screwed up.
Wait.
His dad's just killing people.
You think someone who's dead, he killed him more?
He's deader.
Okay. All right.
Look at the Kardashians. Look at Khloe Kardashian. Look at her like 10 years ago. She doesn't look the same. Plastic surgery. There's some whizzes out there in LA that could have fixed that guy up. He could have still been alive. Did he check?
Wait, you're saying this guy is dripping blood. He's like dead. Flesh is hanging off him. No breathing or heartbeat. But you think a doctor could bring it back?
Maybe
outside of Dr.
Like
Frankenstein?
Maybe he was drinking a wine punch. And he spilled it all over himself. And then just at the time, it was a weird angle. But the fact that he shot him with that thing.
We're going off the rails already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see the correlation between like father, like son.
I have a lot of issues about the kid. So
I do too. The fact that the kid is the main vehicle of this movie.
He's the villain. He's the
villain. And why is the movie set on Halloween? Why? Was it just to get him out of the house? To have that?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a little bit. But they could have done anything else.
Right now, it had to be a nod to E.T.
Well, he also had a reason to put the mask on.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
He only shown one sign of autism in the beginning of the movie. And the rest of the movie, he's like a regular kid.
Yeah, the magical autism.
Yeah.
God damn.
I got issues with this movie, Doug.
there are issues in the movie. I know it's like too much comedy, but I'm telling you, there were some lines in here that really made me laugh. Like the Keegan-Michael Key and Thomas Jane relationship. They're back and forth throughout the whole movie. It's like 4-minute bus scene of them just ribbing each other.
Yeah, but see, there's only so much you can do that joke over and over again. And that he was using that the whole movie.
He was crazy. That's why.
There's one line that Keegan had that I did laugh out loud. But other than that, I was like stone. Just watching this thing.
Oh man. So then we talked about like the opening scene. It really just gets to that point, and then because he figures out, oh yeah, the cool part was when I think it was out of the brace, right? Was it a forearm brace or whatever you want to call it? And he opens up the one side and he holds like the little ball in his hand.
Well, it wasn't a little ball. That ball was pretty big that he swallowed.
Oh yeah, when he swallowed. Well, for him to swallow it, it's not small.
And this is alien advanced technology that is very easy for anyone to operate.
Exactly.
It's intuitive. It's that's kind of the thing they go on. It's that it's supposed to be intuitive for the predator, not a human.
And like based on the first movie of how turning invisible and all that stuff, I feel like it's very different in this movie to what the Predator was then.
He's advanced in the 30.
Yes. Yeah, I'd say yes and no. I think with this, they like with the original one, you don't really see how things work. It goes invisible with its camo. It uses its shoulder blaster. It uses its different things, and we're on the side of the commandos, so we're not seeing every little bit that it's doing. The only time you really get a close up on what it's doing is at the end when it sets off the wrist detonator where it blows everything up. That's the only close up shot of its tech you get. So in this, I feel like it was just them trying to a lot of movies nowadays, they try to show every little bit of detail and whether it's needed or not. And I feel like that's what they were going for. And also, I mean, I'll say this, like in the beginning of the movie, it did get me with like a little bit of that nostalgia. It's using the same score from the original movie. It's using the same credits font, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting into this. Even though I'd already seen the movie, and I was like, oh, this movie's gonna, this movie sucks. But I'm already like, it's already trying to get me in with the nostalgia. And I will say, even the first time I saw it in the theater, I walked out of it like not. I was disappointed in it, but I wasn't like angry at it. And a big part of that is the score, seeing like the Predator on screen again, all the tech, the ships, all that stuff. But watching it again, like all the stuff I didn't like about it the first time, like hit me even harder this time. And probably because I was sitting at home watching it and not in like a crowded theater where like people are like, laughing and cheering and all that stuff. But
was the crowd going wild on the next scene after we saw him drink when he drank the invisible ball? Then we cut to the bullies that pull the alarm and say, I'm in the mood for an ass burger, a big juicy ass burger.
Yeah. I was thinking about this. Like, this is something I feel like pops up in a lot of movies. Like the bullies show up and they start, they're tormenting like the special needs kid. Doug and I went to the same high school. We had plenty of special needs kids, and they had their own class and all that stuff. Not one bully would have ever gone up to them and made fun of them.
You know what? Not even special needs. I mean, we've seen a bunch of movies, even Rocky V. You know, at that age, there were never bullies that were like that. You know, so it's just so ridiculous.
No one torments.
But this kid,
you'd have to be so beyond cruel.
Oh, yeah, every time. But this is a special needs kid. The fire alarm goes off. The teacher runs out of the room and leaves the kid in there by himself.
Yeah. Like it's a real emergency. Like they know it's not a real emergency. And it, yeah.
Bad adults. Yeah, she just bailed. And she's like a special needs teacher, has that education. And even if she wasn't a special needs, no child left behind. And she's like, nah, fuck this kid. Because he's like having this a panic attack. But I love what the bullies do. The juicy Asperger, and they're like, you know what we should do? We go in there, we're going to knock down all the chessboards. And they can't remember where they were playing.
If you're a bully using Asperger as your like tough guy line, you don't have much ammo.
Bad bully. Yeah. But the chessboard, I don't understand. Just them knocking it over, like, yeah, we've ruined their day. Let's go. And then the kid, this is where you saw like his, autism, and he puts everything back, which is like, you're like, oh, this is going to come in later in the movie, which it really doesn't, right? His memory doesn't come in.
It's not a matter of memory. It's just the show. He's super intelligent, obviously, but he acts. If you didn't see the first scene, you would never know he has autism.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they completely forgot that scene's in the movie and they just kept writing it.
Yep.
All they had to do was make him like an extremely intelligent kid.
Correct.
That's all they had to do.
Or
Sheldon. Sheldon. He could have been young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but Sheldon has a form of autism.
He does?
Okay.
Yeah. I've only seen a handful of episodes like Big Bang Theory, and I know that he has a form of autism. That's that's the whole point of his character.
I never watched one.
I never did either.
Yeah, my parents used to watch it, so I would catch like one once in a while.
Oh yeah, your parents used to watch it. Okay,
they watched every season.
Every season.
I was like, why are you doing this to yourselves?
Listen, someone's watching it because it was like the highest.
It was like 14 seasons.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Crazy. So then we cut to the kid goes home. Cut to, it's a perfect word because I love the mom. Who's the mom? She was on Dexter. She was the crazy
Chuck. She was on Chuck.
And she was on Chuck. Yeah. She always plays wackos. She's the wacko in Handmaid's Tales. She's in that too. And the kid who has autism, right? He gets a note. If you mess this house up, I will cut you.
Yes, I wrote this down. 1, most moms aren't going to have a joke like that with a kid that young. Maybe a high school kid, middle school kid, 2, he has autism. He's going to take it literally.
Or does he?
He does not.
It's not.
He like chuckles at it and puts it back on the counter. I'm like, what is this? What am I watching? Throw my notebook across the room.
And then we get Gary Chalk as the friendly, because they filmed a movie up in Vancouver. He's the friendly postman. I don't know postmen, women, but I don't know if there's a rule of because the dad mailed everything to a P.O. box, that if it's sitting there for a certain amount of time, they're like, we got to get the shit out of here. So we're going to bring it to your house.
Not that rule, but how about like giving everything to a autistic kid?
Yeah.
Just
Any kid. It could have been a gun
sitting there. I think the rule is if there's something sitting there for a long time, they contact you. They don't just drop it off and hope you're home.
Or they just take it.
Wait, you said it could have been a gun? I think it was stronger than a gun.
It was stronger than a gun. Oh, shit. And then we cut to John Hopkins University, where Olivia Munn, who I love, she's good. I don't know if is she an actress? I don't know. But
put quotes around that.
I feel like she's the same character. Like if you cut the scenes of this and put them next in the movie Office Christmas Party with Jason Bateman, same person. I feel like she's playing the same role.
Is she a scientist? or is she not a scientist?
She's Dr.
She acts like she's in the military.
Oh, I know.
She knows how to handle a gun and jump on moving vehicles. So.
Oh, wait. Not even that she handles a gun. That she has the balls to, there's this thing that I just saw murder 20 people.
Chase it down.
I'm going to chase it. Wait, that scene. I have so many questions about that scene. Like, that scene really made no sense because they made a reference to that later in the movie and they never used it. Another thing, they're like, she goes, well, this is what happened to me and this is how I got away. And then cut to later in the movie, they never fucking used that. Like, why would they bring that? We saw it, they brought it up, and then like there were so many of these things that you would think be set up for like the final act that weren't in there. Like, you know, like it made no sense.
I guarantee you those scenes exist. They just got cut.
Probably.
This movie was chopped up in the editing process beyond,
release the Shane Black cut. Come on.
Well, she had an issue with one of the actors. One of Shane Black's friends who had some kind of issue with younger kids. And he was in the movie, and she wanted her scenes cut with him out of it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a real life predator.
Was it somebody that I would know? Like he's in a bunch, or he's just a buddy?
I'm gonna let's see if I can look it up.
Yeah,
I remember when this came out.
Well, I think Google might have the answer. Let me see if I can look this up. All right, let me use my keyboard, my mouse.
So I remember when the movie came out and that story came out like right before it dropped in theaters, and it was, I looked him up and I swear he was like a guy. He's like in stuff, but he's not like a
right. He's not a major
name. Yeah, I found it. That's right. Steven Wilder Striegel. He had a minor role in the movie because he's friends with Shane Black.
Wait, that fits. So he's into kids and he had a minor role.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he got axed.
What else is he in? Anything else?
Let's look.
Yeah,
that's insane.
He was in was it Transformers or Avengers? One of those.
One of those.
I think you're right. He goes by Steve Wilder and stuff. He's always like a guy. Like he's like
guy number 3.
Yeah. Guy at store.
Security. Yeah, security guard in Iron Man 3, you know. The detective this. He's still fucking guy's still working.
Oh man, I was hoping he's playing the role of guy who can't be within 500 feet of an elementary school. God
yeah,
damn.
he's in stuff dating back to like the early 90s, and then he had something that came out like last year.
So when she heard the story, she wanted her scenes cut out with him.
Yeah, because they're like, she wanted him fired, so they fired him, but he had already shot those scenes, so they just cut the scenes. And I think they reworked it a little bit. I think they just put her in with like someone else,
right,
and kind of like redid some of the dialogue, but not all of it.
They could have just like superimposed like a chair on him or something. They're like some other actor.
They wasted all their CGI and the other crap.
Yeah. But no, and so this is where the scene when the guy finds her and says, "Oh, we made a discovery." He goes, "Seen this before in 87 and 97 or 99." And then we find out the mom comes home that said she was going to cut her autistic kid. It's the lady from Dexter. And then we find out it's on Halloween. He goes downstairs and he has a pretty cool hangout. Like, that's a pretty cool basement that he has for himself. I was very jealous. I'm in a shed right now in a whole basement. He opens up everything. And dude, I don't know if I opened up a box that was supposed to be for my dad. I don't know if I would start tinkering around with it.
Yeah, why is he opening it in the first place? Well, his dad doesn't live there. So that's another thing.
Yeah,
his
what
parents
was that whole relationship? Yeah, are they really divorced?
No, they're divorced.
Oh, they were.
See, that's the thing. It really doesn't make much sense because it's like, are they divorced or is he just away on a mission and he's not home a lot?
No, she mentioned. I thought she mentioned something. We're not married anymore. We may not be married anymore, but he's a good soldier. But that just shows you, why is the mailman leaving something for someone else that doesn't live there?
Yeah, why is he putting his address still there? So is this like divorce fresh? that his address is still because he has his PO box and then you have the secondary address, so he's still using his house. Like he knows what's in there is crazy. Just don't put another address, or don't you have a family member you can mail it to? That's the only person he can trust.
I assumed that the divorce was very recent and that they don't hate each other. They're on, civil terms, and, it's not a big deal for him to like go to the house and pick stuff up when he's home, that sort of thing. But still, it's, a lot of the story, it comes and goes. I watched it 3 days ago. I couldn't even tell you really what the plot is of any of it.
Well, that's a good question. Like what the plot of this movie is, there's really none. It's really, he's trying to
like 8
save his,
they don't go
anywhere. No, I know, but it's like, I don't know. He's trying to save his son that he put in harm's way. Because he sent that, ipso facto, he started this whole movie.
Yeah, that's a nice little plot. It makes sense. It's concise. And then you start getting into the other military guys who are clearly in need of real help. Who I guess were on their way to like a mental institute of some sort.
Lobotomy.
Sidetrack. Yeah. You have the different factions of predators. You've got the thing with the human DNA collecting.
Well, you have the scientists who hire Olivia to do research, but then want to kill her later on when she does research.
Makes no sense.
Within no time.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to Sterling K. Brown's character.
Oh. Dude, what did was there lines written, or was he just saying whatever was on his mind? He had some lines in this movie. I'm like, whoa, dude, the N-word right here? Like,
yeah, I feel like they really tried to they made him like a goofier version of like Gary Busey's character from Predator 2. He's like, he's the government guy sent in. He knows that there's aliens. He knows about all these visitations. It's literally the same character, just shittier.
The gum chewing was bothering me the whole time.
Because Busey's character in that, he's kind of an asshole, but he's not vindictive. He's not trying to like get the other good guys in the movie like in trouble or anything. He's just trying to keep them out of the way so they can do their job. This guy's like trying to kill people. He's gonna kill the kid. He's like, I'll kill everybody. I don't care. It's nuts, and I hate the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's that Shane Black. Everyone talks the same. Everyone's like smarmy and like full of themselves. It's that every single character talked exactly the same.
Sort of. If you think about it, McKenna had that, like when he met everybody, just the way he carried himself. Yeah.
I mean, he was better because he's the hero of the movie, but yeah, that most of them, they're like the cock of the walk, and the only thing that differentiated them was their various mental illnesses that came and went.
Yeah.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
So Egan, in the Predators movie, did they ever talk about the plot that they threw on, the whole like reasoning behind the Predators why they're on Earth or taking the DNA because one day they know that we're going extinct and they want to take over our planet?
That's new to this movie.
That's just exposition they threw in that mentioned it within like
the other movies.
Yeah, okay.
The other movies are all about them just being like game hunters, basically. So in the first two movies, because that's all we had for so many years, it's really just they come to Earth on the hottest day of the year to hunt. So the first one, it ends up being in the jungle, and it's just a coincidence that the commando guys end up being there on a mission. So that's why they get taken out.
Well, what are they hunting for?
The Predator? Yeah. Whatever top of the species is. So the beginning of that movie, it takes out like another commando team, and then Arnold's team shows up in response to that. So it's just a coincidence.
Wait, if you learned everything from this movie, it shouldn't be called Predator. It should be called, what was it, Big Game Fisherman?
That running joke was just and multiple times.
I'm like, wait, you're shitting on the name of your own movie? Like,
not only own movie, 4 other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the DNA collection thing was made up for this. In the other two, it comes to Earth. They come to Earth to hunt. They take out commandos, and the second one they take out like crazy like cartel guys and
love
like,
it.
You know, top cops, and then the third one is about them collecting people from all different walks of life that are like they see as like perfect killers. So and they drop them on another planet that's like a game reserve to hunt them. Which Jamie's shaking his head, but it's better than it sounds. It's not like this movie.
I'll just say, it's probably better than this one.
Yeah, so you get like a commando guy, you get like a Yakuza assassin, you get like all these different people that are like top killers in their field of work. Whoa. And they're dropped on another planet and they get hunted. Hey, Danny Trejo's in it.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's got a good cast.
That sounds like the movie, that Stone Cold movie with Vinnie Jones, and they're fighting for whoever survives gets to live. They're all people that are on death row, whatever that.
They've done that so many times in so many movies.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that movie called?
I forget The Condemned.
Yes.
Yep.
Classic.
Yep.
Classic Stone Cold. But no, so then we get that kid, when that kid is in the basement and he pulls up the 3D images, and then you see somehow from him doing that and how he knows how to like swipe in the air and do all of that, whatever. But then it like triggers the Predator somewhere else, is like, oh shit, he's calling me or something like that. Like, I don't know.
So the other Predator was called to kill the other Predator. So like, why
sort of. He was like a bounty hunter. That's basically what they told us. We don't know what his real goals are because we couldn't really understand him because it was just like gargling for the most part.
Well, they had subtitles when he spoke.
Yeah, so
what the fuck was that? That was like in Major League 3, Back to the Minors, and they put up Japanese subtitles? Like, we would know that?
That made no sense.
Well, doesn't it comes up in like the Predator font and then it switches to English, right?
No, it doesn't switch to English.
No?
Maybe later in the movie.
Fancy Blu-ray version.
In some scenes. Okay. Oh, when it's like talking to like its supervisor or whatever, I guess it doesn't. But I know some of the scenes it switched over to English. But
I did not see that version. I just saw and I'm like, I hope this conversation is over soon because I'm not getting any of this.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I got out of it is that the normal sized Predator was kind of over this whole mission that they were doing, I guess, with the DNA collecting, and the big one was sent to murder him.
Why didn't the main guy kill him when he had a chance instead of bringing him back?
You mean McKenna in the opening scene?
Yeah, McKenna. Yeah. Why didn't he kill him? Like, why did he leave him?
I don't know. He probably couldn't. He probably was like, holy shit, what is this thing?
That was his response?
Yeah, I don't know. Because in past movies, they have, the Predators have like a code. So they like, there's scenes where they won't attack someone because they're not holding a weapon.
No. Why didn't McKenna kill him? Oh, the monster. Predator.
Monster.
Oh, I thought you were asking why.
No. Why did McKenna? He had the chance to kill this thing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm shocked. I don't know.
Yeah, he's probably in shock. Like, holy shit! Look at this friggin' thing that is right there.
And he gets a quick look at what its tech can do, slicing bodies in half, and
all right,
it goes through like a guy's chest in the beginning, right? It's like the same scene as the guy that's hanging upside down. Like, it kills one guy and then cuts the other body in half.
Yeah, his buddy gets ripped in half from behind.
Shocked that he's like, yep.
And he just fell down a huge mountain for like it was like in Black Sheep, right? In Black Sheep when he falls, and he keeps going and going and going.
I was thinking of when Arnold jumped down. Like I thought it was another throwback to the first Predator.
Oh yeah, I guess it could have been. Yeah,
it kind of is. Yeah. Wow.
So then we meet the group therapy. Was it group 2? And I got
group 2.
Oh no, that's not my favorite part. Wait, that's not it. That's not it. There's the full 20 seconds of this.
Hey, Baxley. Question for you.
All right, here we go.
How do you circumcise a homeless man?
Here it comes.
Kick your mom in the chin.
Fuck you, motherfucker! Come on,
Shut the fuck up!
Hey, you shut the fuck up.
Nope. See that response? He acts like you said, like a 6th grader.
Yeah.
Well, you mean his Tourette's response, or him responding to the
to the driver?
Well, why does Thomas Jane have Tourette's? I don't.
Why is Thomas Jane in this movie?
Well, this is at the point that he was doing a lot of these movies. Like I don't even know. Probably just before that. I mean, he was doing a lot of like straight to DVD, straight to streaming for a while.
Yeah, he's in some smaller stuff, but like, let's get Thomas Jane in our Predator movie and make him the guy with Tourette's.
Exactly. He should have been the main guy.
I mean, I feel like, and I thought this like when I saw it in the theater, I was like, this is worse than like a South Park gag. Because with South Park, you know that they make fun of everybody, all walks of life. They're gonna get you, right? And it's humor, but it's told with it's never malicious, right? Because they're gonna this to me, it's like childish. It's just making fun of someone with Tourette's, and the same thing with like all these guys. Like they make like PTSD a joke with these soldiers.
Well, you add in the bullies with the autistic kid. They're making fun of a lot of handicaps.
Yeah. It goes after like, and it's like, why? Why is this in a Predator movie? Why is this in any movie?
In 2018.
This, I mean, it's like to me, it's Shane. You know,
it's not needed.
It's weird because Shane Black was one of the top scriptwriters of the 80s, right? He wrote Lethal Weapon. He co-wrote so many other sequels. He's a script doctor on a ton of stuff. He didn't write stuff like this in the 80s when it was a little, when it was more acceptable, like in comedies and stuff. But why is he doing it now? I don't know.
I never got my chance.
That's the one thing that really bugged me with this movie.
His first treatment, Riggs had Tourette's, and they told him, "Hey, we'll do the movie, but we're taking it out. We're not having Riggs with Tourette's."
See, I can see Riggs more with autism.
Yeah.
Oh, and Danny Glover with Murtaugh. Murtaugh with Tourette's.
To be honest, Riggs has, Riggs does kind of have his own PTSD and, the whole dead wife thing and all that. But so I guess but that's treated to me. Yes, there's some humor in that movie, like the stuff with him, like, doing the dislocated arm thing. And he's the wacky cop with the death wish kind of. But when they get to the stuff like about his wife, it's treated seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Like you watch this guy mourn in those movies and you watch him open up to Murtaugh and the other guys and all that stuff. This is just pure nonsense front to back.
No, totally.
And the only reason any of those lines work is because it's Thomas Jane and because you have Keegan-Michael Key. If those were like anyone else, it'd be even harder to watch. Like,
yes.
If Alfie Allen, huge on Game of Thrones. What is he? He has like 5 lines in this movie. What is he?
Well, has he done?
Oh, that's Lynch.
No.
Yeah, Alfie Allen is Lynch. Yeah.
Oh man.
He's
the sniper.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in John Wick. Isn't he in John Wick also?
And he's in John Wick too. Yeah.
Wow. So then, right at the same point, the fact that they put him on McKenna on this bus, and the bus is just right outside that same facility. So they're sending him away because he wouldn't really help out at all. And then you're getting the lab. you see inside the lab, you meet Jake Busey. He really tells about everything. Another joke that you guys probably hated, but when she gets taken into the room and the room starts going down and the guy at the desk says, "Is it your imagination or is this haunted room stretching?" The guy goes,
that
every fucking time, really?
Yeah, that's funny to me because it's like it's cheesy. It's a one-off. It's a one-off, and then you get back into other stuff.
Well, that's a Disney World line.
Yes, that's a haunted mansion.
Yes.
Yep. That's what's funny about it. And then the guy going, every time you're gonna do this every time.
And
that's funny because that speaks to like the bored employee just trying to like give himself a laugh during the day. Yeah,
the guy who knew it was great the first time he said it, and now he just wants to ride it.
Every time he's like, "There's this hottie doctor coming in. I'm gonna make her laugh, maybe," because all these people that work there. So is this the army? Like this is the real army, or is this like somebody else? Because
this is like secret ops.
Area 51.
Yeah, this is definitely above like military pay grade. Like,
because everyone who works for these people, they might not know that they're going to be targeted as bad guys, but they're going to die. Like not even from the predator, from other people and from their own coworkers and bosses. Like they signed up for a job that you're most likely going to die. Maybe up until this point, everything was fine. But when a predator gets strapped onto the table, like I wasn't expecting that, even though we saw it. We saw them find the body in the ship. That was fucking so cool seeing that strapped in there.
Yeah, but do you think you have an alien on a table? Do you think leather straps are the way to go? Like the thing's huge. He's built like a human. You wouldn't put like chains or something stronger.
Yeah, and what's funny is that like these guys, they're obviously like an offshoot of the military guys from Predator 2. They've been studying these aliens for decades. And they're like, yep, the table with the straps will hold them.
Traeger knows everything. He knows everything about them. Like everybody he talks to,
Traeger.
He knows. Agreed. But everything. But yeah, the scene is insane. When he breaks off of that table, all these people are so innocent because I think just before that, they're all clapping, right? You see like these normal, like middle-aged people, like the scientists, they're like, yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, they're all getting like just ripped to shreds. One guy gets thrown into the glass so hard, like it's just blood everywhere.
It's a massacre.
Yeah. It's probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
Oh, I loved it.
It's silly. It's, it leans on the B movie stuff, but like it's done well for sure. And that's, me, I own thousands of movies. I've seen so much schlock over the years, and there's a way to do it right and there's a way to do it wrong, especially if you're trying to do like a big budget version. This scene got it right. Most of the movie got it wrong.
Yeah.
You know what?
But we did get one cool line just before this, because the bus is already leaving, and that's when McKenna goes, "Oh, I have the shit." Because Dr. Brackett, Olivia Munn, like wondered where the missing, because they were missing the one mask and the one forearm thing. Then that's when McKenna, they said, "Oh, McKenna said he was the last one with it." They like turned the bus around, and one of his lines, perfect for us, he goes, "I am stuck in Group 2, the sequel to Group 1, but only stupider." That's great.
Well, the stuff in the glass case, is that from the second movie? Some of that stuff?
I guess like it's from the first and the second one, or things they got at swap meets.
Like the way it looks.
No, the weapons and the stuff that when she first gets
on display,
there.
They had like the wall of fame of it.
I think it's just supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a reference that they've been collecting anything they find over the years, because there's stuff like that. There's stuff like that in the other movies too. That's how we got things like Alien versus Predator and stuff. Which, by the way, those movies are no longer canon, unfortunately.
I never saw those.
I saw the second one.
First one's okay. First one's fun. The second one is pretty bad. It's got some really insane gore and effects in it, but it's just a poorly made movie. It's down to the a lower rung like this one.
All right, get it on the list. Get it on the list. So then
it has a scene in it that will absolutely shock you guys.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a challenge. So then we get Lachlan Monroe. So if anybody listened to the interview with Gary Chalk, Lachlan and Gary have been in like 10 different things together. Lachlan's in this. He has a small role as like this military general in here. And God, dude, here it is. So Olivia Munn, she's a doctor. And she's
a scientist. Right?
Scientist. Well, it's a doctor. They're doctors.
She has some. I think she's supposed to have some form of doctorate. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like you're just a scientist. They don't give you the doctor part. You're like, hey, you're just a scientist, but you got to be called Mister or something. But she right away grabs a gun, right? Right
away. No, it was a tranquilizer gun.
Oh, yeah, that's what she had. But the fact that, so the scene that I wanted to mention before, but in order to get out of there, she had to get naked? Because that's the only way they were able to get in?
I had a question about that too. No, she was she had to get what's it called? The
decontamination chamber.
So does it know if you have clothes on?
I think so.
That's weird.
Because that's how they got in there. Because they were like, "Oh, you have to." Because they were just both standing there. And
but the sensor knows if you're naked or not.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. I don't think it's like that. They're treating it like a clean room.
No.
So you take your clothes off, put them in a bag, walk to the sterilizer, put on scrubs or whatever.
So why'd she have to take her clothes off when she went back in?
She was naked, and the predator walked up to her.
Yeah.
And then just walked away.
Because you could see she was vulnerable.
So she wanted to take her clothes off to be vulnerable?
Does she know the background of this?
Wasn't she only naked because the predator broke out while she was going through?
No, she was already in there.
No, she was already in there. She was hiding. Yeah. And then she decided to take her clothes off.
So maybe she doesn't know everything so well. Maybe from studying it, she knows the vulnerability. But wouldn't they teach that to everybody? Wouldn't all those people who are about to get massacred just go, ah? Because none of those people were.
So you want everybody to take their clothes off before the predator attacks?
She wasn't even studying them though. Remember she's on the bus and she's looking at the file and she's like, oh my God, there's aliens. Like this is the first time she's learning about it. So she doesn't know their rules.
No, she says, "Oh, they are real." So I think maybe she had some. Yeah, she probably doesn't know the rules. That was
so she was like a basement dweller, conspiracy.
So maybe she thought the predator would be distracted by her naked body
because he's a predator.
See?
Oh man, but no. Then the fact that she turns into this like badass, that she's chasing this thing, it's running, and I love that they're all group 2 is sitting on the bus and they look over and they just see a guy get thrown, like a guy that was just a security guard, thrown off the top of it. The predator jumps down and she's behind him. Oh no, she's underneath, right?
She's underneath. He's above.
Yeah. She's bobbing and weaving. Like this thing now should be like, oh, I sense this. Especially that we find out about that gun that the kid had. It senses whatever and just. So this thing doesn't know that kid's behind him. That the girl is right underneath him. Like just, it made no sense that she was like that aggressive towards finding him.
How do you know where to go?
Did he put the helmet on already? Didn't he grab the helmet that was already on the wall, right? And then that's when he was able to...
So then why is he running? I mean, in the first movie, he's in like high trees, jumping really high. Like why is he like running like a human?
Why isn't he walking? Just go invisible and walk.
Well, he didn't have the ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I guess so. Yeah, because he didn't have his forearm thing. All he found was the helmet that was there. So he had his helmet, and he was missing his wristlet. Oh my god!
He also has webbed feet, which I never thought he would have. When he was on the tables, there were web feet.
Does he swim in any of the movies?
No. Well, he walks through water. That's it.
Well, and he actually gets electrocuted, right? His equipment malfunctions in the first movie when he gets wet.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god. So then at this same time, we get back to the bus. This one made me really laugh. He goes, hey, Baxley's mom's vagina. What if Baxley's mom's vagina was a video game? It would be rated E for everyone. Like that joke was like that E for everyone thing. That was like PlayStation, right? Wasn't that like at the end of PlayStation ads, like in the 2000s? So that was a pretty dated joke.
I mean, games are still rated E to M, so it's still a thing. But that joke is from like when we were in 6th grade.
Yeah, but that was one that he knew that would get under his skin, or it was already set up for that to happen. Because then that got them to start fighting. The cops come back, and then they kill the one cop.
They did, but like, would the cops do that? These are guys that are handcuffed, and they basically left that door open for the driver. And I feel like the jokes, they're dirty jokes told, like we talked about before, like a 6th grader, because there is dirty aspects to the jokes, but they're so like I'm rubber, you're glue kind of jokes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, Shane Black.
Yeah.
Because remember, in the first movie, his character has all like the really crass jokes, and they're like, and in at least in that movie, he's telling the jokes and no one's laughing. He's got 8 guys around him and no one's laughing at his jokes.
Well, it's funny. You look at that crew: Jesse the Body, Apollo Creed, Arnold,
Billy.
And then you get these guys. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't have like that guy. I guess, like, I agree with Jamie. Like Nebraska, like he was great in this whole movie, and his ending was like legendary. Like in a movie, like to see somebody do that was so cool. But like, and then I forgot now that like because when we talk about these movies, like while we're going through it, how about the way like Dr. Brackett like ends her thing? She shoots herself in the foot with the tranq dart.
Well,
and then that's when triggers like eliminate her.
That's the only thing that like showed that all right, she is just a scientist, doesn't know how to use a gun, shoots herself. So okay,
she's a doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry, a doctor. But then later on, jumps on top of the bus, or was it a bus? She jumped on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, the bus.
Yeah,
I mean, like, yeah.
But the Predator, this is the one that you're talking about. So this is when you have the military bus. That's who Trigger called, go to eliminate her. And then when they're driving, that's when the Predator hops in the back of the van.
Well, he's hitching a ride. That's how he gets there.
But when he holds up, hey, everything okay back there? And he lifts up a hand that is already in a thumbs up.
That was dumb.
So that's how that person died. Like he was saying thumbs up and he died that way. That's how he died. He saw the Predator and he goes,
I thought maybe the Predator folded his fingers back,
That would be even that would like be crazy. If you saw him in the back and he's like using his thing and like, what are some hand signals that humans do on Earth?
And he's just sitting in the back, like with his hands on his knees, like a regular person.
Yeah.
Like waiting.
So like a punked prank almost. He's like, oh my God, I just murdered all of his friends and he's giving me a ride right now. Like seriously, like what? Oh, that's so funny.
Man.
And they save Olivia Munn. They take her to this like sleazy hotel. And you know think what's happening right now? All this mayhem's going out. Like they know that there's this killer alien is on the loose. What do? They drink. And they're like at a bar drinking. they leave the crazy guys with the girl, which why would you do that? Like what? McKenna and Nebraska are the two guys that have it together, you think? And they leave all the crazy ones with her in the room.
This whole scene was a very creepy vibe. Very creepy vibe. But I did laugh when they bet.
Oh, dude.
When she grabbed that shot.
That they made. I told you she grabbed the gun and she pulled the trigger on him. Like,
yeah. That was another scene that had the cringy Tourette's joke back and forth.
Yep.
Where she's just repeating over and over again. I'm like, and that's Jamie. That's where I wanted to turn the movie off.
Oh, so you made it past the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Eat your pussy?
Yeah.
Did you say eat your pussy? No. He didn't say eat your pussy. He said, you're a pussy or I'm a pussy. I'm like, why is that in this?
But it went on for a while. And that's the thing.
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you could tell, like, I felt like you could, even the actors didn't find it funny. And they're just throwing it back and forth at each other like stone faced.
Shane's like, do it one more time. They're like, fuck you, dude. Just leave this one. We don't need another take. And now we're going to cut to the best part of the movie. So we get this kid going trick-or-treating. Like a scene that you did not expect. I could have wrote down a million things that were going to happen in this movie. And this one, I would not have thought. That this kid puts on the Predator mask. He puts on the wristlet thing, forearm thing. And he goes trick-or-treating. And he sees the bullies, right? He sees the bullies just before he goes to the house.
Okay, before we get there, I don't have a lot of experience with autistic kids. Would they go out by themselves on Halloween night to go trick-or-treating?
I don't think so. And the mom was home.
Right. And
yeah, I mean, I have a little experience, like a little bit. And there's a saying that's, if you've met one kid with autism, you've met one kid with autism, because everyone it's such a wide range of different versions and challenges that they face. But I don't know one kid that would go by himself. It seems
especially weird. Since the panic he had in the beginning of the movie, covering his ears, anything can happen. Especially on the scariest night of the year.
Like a car alarm could go off. Kids could jump out of a bush. Just a harmless prank.
Bullies could confront him.
A kid.
He clocks those kids, and he's
and
he crosses the street.
He sticks out like a sore thumb. Like he wanted to hide behind the mask.
What's funny to me is like, why did those kids know it was him?
That is true too. This is a mask. It's not like he's the poor kid and it was like a cheapo mask. This thing was probably it looked expensive, I'm sure. Like God.
And it's not like he was wearing like
the same clothes.
It's not like he was wearing like a Star Wars shirt or like a Mickey Mouse shirt. It's like something they saw him in earlier that would be like, oh, there he is. He's just wearing like a plain shirt and like a little hoodie and stuff. Like there's absolutely no reason they should have.
Well, was this the same day at school?
Yeah.
Okay, so he probably didn't change his shirt.
Is it the same?
Probably the same sweatshirt.
In the dark, they saw it and go, oh, there's that big juicy ass burger from the chess club.
Yeah.
But the fact that this kid, because it's what you would say a high schooler was in that house.
Older.
I would think. Oh yeah. Oh no. That was like a crack man.
I would say like in the 20s. Like they're a little older.
Yeah. That was the bad that was the bad house in the neighborhood.
Again, to leave a autistic kid walking around.
Yeah. To that rough neighborhood. The fact that thing pops out and blows that guy up.
Murders. Let's call it what it is. The kid murdered that guy. And who else was in the house? So there could have been multiple people.
And the bullies, and the bullies were impressed.
It was like a house of meth heads.
Yeah.
No great.
But the kid just murdered, accidentally or whatever, and act normal like the next scene. Like nothing happened.
Yeah. At first it kind of plays like he didn't realize what happened. But it would be okay. So at first it shoots through the kid, the guy up on the balcony, dead, and then it shoots again and blows up the house.
Yeah, and
then it knocks him. So at first he doesn't realize that anyone's dead. And then,
this is a kid that's
knocks him on his ass.
Is able to manipulate alien software. You're gonna tell me he doesn't know that he just blew up a guy from his wrist?
No, because a lot of times the equipment acts like on its own. It's like an AI.
No, it does, but
so it saw the rock throwing as like a lethal threat and murdered him.
I would think you're gonna feel a rocket come off your arm.
Oh, it's a laser blast.
A laser blast. Yeah, okay. No, but that was in this movie that kid did that.
He murdered.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So when you see like the blast go through the guy's chest and real quick the blood fly, I was like, oh shit.
I watched it 3 times. I kept rewinding and I'm like, dude, this kid just murdered someone.
Slaughtered.
What's his body count by the end of this? He takes out that entire house.
And there's a lot of people in there. So
oh yeah. They're all hanging out. It was book club night on Halloween, and Jesus, all these people die. All these meth heads. So then just some funny. So then you get McKenna. He goes to the house, and he's like, "Hey, I sent something here." And this is where the wife, when Jamie like reminded us when she was like, "You don't live here anymore. This isn't your house. You can't just come here." And this whole scene is crazy too, because I think he finds the box downstairs. It's open. And then that's when he leaves by himself to go find Rory. And what else happens? Everybody else stays there. They don't even go to help him, right? Only Nebraska goes after a while.
Yeah, because she gives the speech that you played at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
She gives the speech about, my husband may not be he might not be a good husband, but he's a good soldier. That that whole thing.
She recites his stats like it's a baseball card. Confirmed kills. I'm like, wait, what freaking person does that military people do? Like, if there's somebody listening to this podcast and their friend or spouse is in the military, do you know their stats like that? It's like,
I would think they don't want
372 and 47 RBIs. Like, what?
If they're killing someone, they don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So yeah. But I did laugh the clip you showed earlier when he goes, that speech did not motivate me at all.
All right, I'll play it again because I had to clip it for itself, so the whole thing's great.
Might be a lousy husband, but he is a good soldier.
Yeah, sounds like he can probably take care of himself.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That's what I thought. Fucking pussies.
Where you going, Nettles?
I didn't like your speech. It didn't really inspire me. But he called me a pussy and nobody calls me pussy, so.
Okay. Fuck off, pussy.
See, they're making the Tourette's, he's acting like a parrot. Like he's repeating. So it's, I don't know. Although I think Nettles might be the craziest one of all of them.
He is really crazy.
Yeah.
And then Nebraska steals a cop car.
The RV.
Oh yeah, where did they get the RV? Yeah,
it just comes into play because they need to fit them all on something that's not a school bus.
And the cop car. So Nebraska steals a cop car. Somebody steals an RV.
Well, later in the movie, don't they come up? They get something else.
It's supposed to be. I think the RV is supposed to be McKenna's.
Oh, that's where he's been living,
in it, like outside, like right outside the house.
Oh, okay. That's where she makes him sleep, I guess.
Right.
And then we get the baseball field. So Rory, after he murders someone, goes, you know what? I'm going to go for a stroll by myself with my murder weapon. I guess that's actually smart of him, so you won't see other people. But dude, this is where the dogs show up, the Predator's dogs. And so this is what makes no sense because which Predator's dogs are these? The little predator or the big predator?
Why do predators need dogs? Are they living like a normal life at home on their planet? Like after a long day of killing people?
They're just they're hunting dogs.
Yeah, but
they're very
they were introduced
sweet
in the third movie.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, they were introduced in the third movie, and they were actually scary. In this one,
they have dreads. No, they're basically the predator on a dog's body.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Got to keep it simple.
One of them gets murdered point blank by Nebraska. He puts the pistol next to its head.
Yeah, the dogs are really stupid.
And then there's the one that like lasts through the whole rest of the movie.
He was the friend,
and they shot it. They shot it in the head, and it lives, and it's like,
but
kind of
it's an alien. Stupid. It's an alien. It's not a dog. Like I don't
like partially lobotomized it.
They did, yeah.
So it's like, and then it's like friends with like Olivia Munn. It's like protecting her because she's the one. I think that isn't she the one that shot it in the head?
I thought it was Nebraska.
No, Nebraska did.
Yeah. No, because at one point they hide it. They go, get in. Like they don't want him to get killed.
Makes no sense. Because someone shoots it in the head, and then they're going to shoot it again to kill it, and they're like, no, don't. Why? I don't know. And then it's like their dog after that.
It's so stupid.
It's bizarre.
God. And then when you get the whole scene when the predator shows up and they're firing every bullet that they have at it. And then even McKenna, when he's like running away from it, like under the bleachers, and I think it's Nebraska throws him a gun. And then we get like slow-mo of him catching it. Like that was like way too much for halfway through the movie. Like a little past halfway through the movie, we're getting like slow-mo, I don't know.
Yeah, I lost it when I saw the dogs. I was kind of checking out.
But then we get the Bible. How about when Nettles is driving the RV and he's oh wait, maybe that was the dogs they were running from, right? Is that when they were all firing just at the dogs, or was the predator actually on the baseball field?
I think it's just the dogs because the big guy shows up like right at the end.
The big guy shows up at the school, but the little guy, the little predator, which is not really little, but we'll call him little. But when he pulls Nettles out of the RV, I was like, no, I like that guy. And in my head, I'm like, eventually all these guys are gonna die, right? Like you know that has to happen in these movies, but you're trying to guess like who's gonna be first. I was totally wrong because at that point I'm like, oh, he's gotta go, right? Like he's not like one of the main guys, but he gets saved. Why? Because they're all getting ready to put their guns down, and Thomas Jane flips on the Tourette's and he says, "Fuck you, pussy," and that kind of distracts the predator that he's able to shoot him a bunch of times.
This is dumb. Like it makes no sense. Like was in the first movie what? Well, I hate going back to it, but even the second one, were they like cautious with vulnerable people?
Yes,
well, they were. Okay.
Yeah, they have their set of rules. It's been expanded on a little bit with each movie, but for the most part, nothing's really changed. Nothing really changed until this one, where we started getting into like the weird DNA.
So they really brought it out this one. All right.
Yeah. So it's always been like for example, like in the first one, there's like the woman that they took from like the enemy camp, and she's like handcuffed.
Yep.
She never has a weapon, and the only time the predator goes to fire at her is when she picks up a gun, and Arnold like smacks it out of her hand. He's like, no, it won't kill you if you're not armed. So like just from that on, that was like the basis of that, and that it's been expanded on.
It's funny. Like I mean, every time I've seen that movie, and I've seen it so many times, I never thought of it as that. I'd have to see it again.
Yeah, same thing with like Billy standing up to it at the end.
Yeah, but doesn't he gets killed on the log, and he didn't have a weapon.
Yeah, but he throws all his weapons away except for
the knife.
The knife.
Yeah,
and the predator sees him.
Billy, yeah.
The predator sees him as like a worthy opponent, right. So he doesn't just shoot him. or blast him, they actually are supposed to have fought, and that's why in that one he actually takes Billy's skull as the trophy. He's the one person that he kills that he takes a trophy from because he respects him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like I said, that deleted
Billy
scene.
Billy gets yeah. So then when they're in the school, and again, I know we mentioned it so many times, but
They were walking into a school? How they get into the school?
Well, that's true. How did they get in the school?
They must have knocked on the door for the janitor.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. But the fact they're in the school and then you see like the predator stalking the windows, and then he sneaks up on them. When he has McKenna choked out, you're like, he's gonna have to get out of this. How's it gonna happen? I'm telling you, my jaw hit the ground when when something ripped it out of the window. I'm like, what could that be? Like they showed you pretty quick of what it was, but I'm like, what the hell was that? And then you see it standing there, a ginormous predator that pretty much within seconds kicks the shit out of him because the little one shoots a few times, but he misses him and blows up the school. So a lot of damage going on in this town.
I was actually sad when a little predator died.
Oh, the way he died too.
I wanted him to fight the big one.
Yeah. And honestly, other than the first movie, there's always been like a predator character that kind of borderlines on good. So it felt like, oh, this is going to be like the hero predator of this movie, then dead. Which I will say, like you said, with the bigger predator, like pulling it through the window, and like you see him like fight for a little bit. Good, great. It was done better in the last movie.
Oh, they did the same thing?
Well, in the third movie, there's, like I said, there's multiple factions, and you see like a bigger one. I don't think he's this big, but he's big. There's clearly a size difference, and they fight, and it's a whole thing. But there's good stuff in this movie, but it's a bad movie.
They could have done the old like knockout, and then the big predator sees maybe Rory. Oh, that's a kid I was talking to. That was a kid I was texting. Isn't it funny? His name's Predator, and he was texting a little kid pretty much, or emailing back and forth. Look, where's Chris? Hi, I'm Chris Hansen.
Hi, I'm Chris Hansen.
But no, they could have done the old like, oh, that predator gets like thrown, but they didn't even want you to even think that the little predator was alive. So he rips his head off and his spinal cord's attached, and he holds it up, and then he does like this like Jason Voorhees like Leatherface like slow walk for a second, just staring at the Winnebago. And I love they're all like, what the hell was that? What the hell was that thing? Oh shit!
Yeah, I thought he was gonna start running after them.
Me
he
too.
Just stands there.
No, I thought that was gonna. I guess it was too early for that, like the whole shit to hit the fan. But no, that was I love that scene. That was cool.
How big do you think he was? I mean, if the other
10 feet,
right?
He's supposed to be like 10 or 11 feet tall. Because the regular predators are supposed to be like 7 feet, and the actors they get are like 7 feet tall.
Wow.
And this is where we cut to Traeger. He's looking at the dead predator's body. They got it pretty quick. The fact that he's looking at it, and he's talking about, and then he's telling us, oh, he's the big one's the tracker. So the little one was the runner. He was trying to help us out.
So, like, how do you know about the big one?
I don't know. They know so much, I guess. I have no idea.
Then why do they need Olivia? Why do they leave the scientist, doctor?
I don't know. Why did they even? Yeah, you're saying why they need her?
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
He knows everything.
She knew nothing about it. Yeah, especially she had no knowledge. Her first reaction was like, "Oh my god, this is real." I knew it. And it's like
she was only there for 5 minutes before all hell broke loose.
Yeah. Oh my god! And then how about the Nettles when he's hitting on Olivia Munn? He goes, "You know, we have a lot in common. I like music. You like music. You like music, right?" Like,
I definitely think he might be the craziest one.
He almost dies, and then minutes later, he's like, "I'm gonna try to get some. I think this is the opportunity to hit on this girl and try to ask her out. Like, this is the moment."
Who is he? Like, he looks familiar.
He does look he really does look. He actually, it's definitely not him, but he looks like, if you ever watch Broad City, he looks like their one friend on that show. Definitely not him, but just the way he played this character, like he was funny, and his demise was crazy too. At the end of the movie, it was actually, it was so over the top, but just the way these people went out, you're like, holy shit! Like a lot went into it. Like really.
Yeah, that's I have a problem with that too. It felt like so tacked on at the end. Like you introduced all these guys throughout the movie, and then it kind of felt like, oh, we forgot to kill some of them. So they all die in within 5 minutes of each other.
I agree. I think one of them should have died like 20 minutes earlier.
We should have lost one at the school, someone at like the field or what, because up till the end, it doesn't. There's no stakes. Like there are, but it never feels like anything real is going to happen because they get away from the military base, they get away from the smaller predator, they get away from the bigger predator, they get back to the house. Like they're getting everywhere they need to go, and nothing's really stopping them. They shoot at the dogs, they do this, they do that, but it's like there's no stakes until the end.
Right?
Yeah.
And then everyone starts getting blown up or chopped up or whatever.
Or jumping on the predator's back.
Jumping into Starship engines.
Wait, not even jumping on the predator's back. On fire predator's back. It's like, I want to die.
Listen, these guys are crazy. I don't think they're that crazy.
They're not that crazy. No way. There's no way anybody with just a knife.
No.
Yeah, no. So then at this point, it's Traeger and the FBI find them. They're one-on-one, trying to get more information from Dr. Brackett. And I think he even apologizes for oh, I'm sorry that I was going to kill you. This guy is so, Egan said, the character just sucks. I think maybe the way
he tried too hard.
He wanted, it was just trying to be too much of a dick.
I feel like that had to have been the direction he was given because Sterling K. Brown's
great
a great actor.
He is.
Yeah. He's in a ton of stuff.
But does he normally play? Does he ever play a bad guy?
Not that I've seen.
He's played shady characters.
Shady, yeah, but there's a difference between shady and just being a jerk, like the way he was, chewing the gum and just being, This
is just hamming it up. But, So for when the first time I saw this movie, as soon as he walks on screen, I'm like, oh, awesome. Another great actor in this movie. And then immediately I was like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Because when I saw when this movie first was getting made, I remember looking at the cast. I'm like, wow, these are some pretty good people. But
and because the third movie's really solid, I was like, okay, cool. We're getting another Predator movie. They wait almost within the storyline, they wait 10 years to make a movie.
Yeah.
And each one's been pretty good so far. So I was like, all right, I'm in.
Was this the last one?
This is the last one, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, there is a new one coming out, direct to Hulu.
Oh, okay.
It's a prequel, and it's called Prey.
Okay.
Instead of Predator.
So he was bullied, and then he turned into the bully. The Predator. He was picked on in school, and then he was like, hey, I'm not going to take any shit anymore. And that's when it all flipped.
Yeah, I think it's set a long time ago. It's like Native Americans or something.
How funny is it if we saw him in a classroom with the helmet on?
Yes.
To look.
Oh my God.
And he's getting picked on. So another scene. I think
we only see their homeworld once.
Yeah,
and it's in one of the AVP movies.
Oh, really? No, I did. All the fight scenes in this movie, I think there wasn't a lot of them, really, time wise. But when they're at McKenna's ex-wife's house, that was pretty badass. When the Predator just starts ripping people up, he even cuts the guy through the. So does the Predator have Freddy Krueger blades or something on his hand?
Yeah, his the blades that come out of the gauntlet,
Oh,
Assassin's Creed.
That's That's like the Predator's like famous weapon.
Oh, dude, that looks so cool because it looks so long. It almost looks like it went through the guy's entire body because it went through the floor and almost up to his like throat because he was like throwing up blood within seconds.
All right, hold on a second. So the wrist thing is called a gauntlet?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Sure.
Oh, good. That's a better phrase than forearm thing.
Okay, so that thing, when he picks it up, is it's hollow. It's pretty thin. Where's he hiding all this stuff inside the gauntlet?
Well, it's special alien.
It's alien magic. It's very light.
Okay.
Oh, dude, I would love if the kid killed the bullies with that.
About advanced technology, always it's indiscernible to magic to a more primitive species. Like if you were to show your iPhone to George Washington, his head would explode.
Gotcha.
You know, it's advanced technology is indiscernible to magic to like a less evolved species.
That's why it bothers me that this kid could figure out how to get on a ship.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. It's nonsense. Fuck this movie.
The craziest part of this movie, just the people that work for Traeger, even though I know they're getting in there bad when they sign up, they know that they're doing some shady shit. But when Traeger and the army steal Rory and they're planning on killing, and they do the bad guy thing, like, okay, yeah, I'll kill her now. Like, and he's like walking behind her and the Predator dog saves her. She pulls a grenade and puts it under his flak jacket or his bulletproof vest. And then they run and jump and he explodes.
Well, the dog brought the grenade, right? Didn't the dog drop their grenade?
Oh, did he drop the grenade he was playing fetch?
But it still had like the pin in it. He had it like in his mouth or whatever. And then she picks it up and blows the guy up. What is this?
That's crazy.
That's not even self-defense. That's just murder.
That is murder. He was already on the ground.
It's just straight murder.
Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of murder in this movie.
And then Thomas Jane's character, Coyle, has like a great line in this movie because it's so true. Because he even says how silly it is, which I don't know if Shane Black was like writing it that way, but he goes, wait, we're going against aliens and the army? Because that's really what this movie is. And that is like not even fathomable. Like, why would you even try? I
think there was more human on human murder than Predator human.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Those people killed a lot of people.
And the crack house.
And Rory with his 17 kills. Because just thinking, not even the people that he killed then, what about the family members that were like so distraught and then maybe I don't know. But then I think a funny thing in this movie, I don't know how electric fence how they work, but how about when they had the electric fence, they zoom in on the sign, electric fence, and they showed two army guys put jumper cables on them. Like, is an electric fence always electrified? Do you have to really physically go out there and put jumper cables on it?
Well,
maybe the generator
in Jurassic Park, doesn't the fence go down?
But that was because the power went out, not that one of the employees.
The hurricane knocked the power out.
I was like, wait, they have all this money. They're doing all this stuff with alien technology, but our budget for actually real electric fences isn't that good. And what would that even do? That did something. That did something to me.
See, it makes no sense to even have that in there like that. It's filler.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was, and then how about Traeger, how shitty he is to Rory? And Rory's like, my dad's going to get you. He's going to come and save me. And he does a little kid voice back to him. And he goes, your dad has to be the dumbest motherfucker alive. Like in a kid's voice. I'm like, whoa, dude. He wants to be the most evil guy in a movie of all time. For him just to not even kidnap this kid and going to use, really basically not care if this kid dies or not. And then tries to kill the kid later. just, God, treats his kid like shit.
It does.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, the kid is a murderer, so I mean,
the kid is I guess it would be okay, right?
Right. That's okay.
The sequel should be the trial. The sequel to this movie should be Rory's murder trial. Like a court TV, the 1 hour TV movie, and it's just like his murder trial because really, he's a murderer. Yeah.
Actually, and real quick, we never really touched on the fact that Rory's played by
Jacob Trembley,
Oscar nominee Jacob Trembley.
Amazing.
He's great in everything, but he's he's a kid. And he's gotten some weird roles. And this is one of them.
Wasn't he in a movie with he wore a helmet? Okay.
Yes. He was in that movie Wonder, which is also problematic for its own.
Oh yeah,
its own reasons. Yep.
No, you know what? I don't want to take anything away from this kid because the kid actually is a good actor. He's acting well.
Yeah.
But
he did the job.
But what he's given is ridiculous.
Yeah. See, McKenna, he goes invisible. He uses like the magic ball bearing to sneak into that room because he's trash talking Traeger like over the walkies, right? Or he calls him or something because he's thinking his dad is like in the woods. It's like a John McClane kind of moment, and then he happens to be in that room because he knocks Traeger down. And then how about Traeger's like his like stoolie the whole movie, that white guy that just like, yeah, sir. And he was like kind of like evil. He gets killed by the tranq dart, which you wouldn't think would kill somebody because he shoots it in his eye.
Oh yeah. He's like, you fucked with my kid. And just right in the face.
We also skipped over the fact that he went to the bathroom earlier to, I guess, puke up the ball. I mean, which is, think about how long it's been in there.
It's true.
Where's the It's Dookie clip?
Yeah. Wait, did he not have a BM in like, how many days was it since the desert?
He was waiting for that exact moment. He held it in.
And I guess it's better a puke scene rather than him picking it out of his shit, like in Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. Like,
but you think about, he swallowed metal. He swallowed metal, and it's been sitting in this like so stupid.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe his body was like, no, this is too big.
We're gonna keep this in here. The stomach.
We need a biologist.
If there's a biologist listening, and follow us on Twitter, sequels only, and tell us if I swallow a big metal ball, would it come out of my ass or would it
stay there?
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
And how long can it last there without a BM?
Without a BM, yeah. So then we get Lynch. This whole time, Lynch is up top getting ready to snipe, and he didn't have really any lines in this movie, really like a handful. So I guess it would have been a good bet that he would have been the first one to go down. But when you see the triangle, the 3 dots, yeah, he was the first one to go. The Predator was up there ready to raise some hell.
Yep.
See, how much, what is it, about 20 minutes left in this movie? And this is where it's just like they pack 20, 30 minutes, so much.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And that's more, this is like the point where you also can really tell like how this thing must have been just chopped and re-edited and changed, because the movie's almost 2 hours, but the amount of stuff we get in it feels like it could be like a 90-minute movie, an 80-minute movie. There's so much like just filler and like the motel scene, the house, it's all the same stuff over and over again, and then they just cram it all into this like the last like 20 minutes, and it just feels bottom heavy. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
but if you told me this was an 80-minute movie, I'd believe you. But it's almost 2 hours. Yeah. So what was the original cut? Like 2.5? Like it had to have been some.
Thank goodness it wasn't.
But another, like, again, there's a handful. There's so many lines in this movie. Like, they had to try to have these, like, memorable lines. Some just fall flat. But I did like the one when they're all, like, the big predators, like, ripping everybody up, killing a ton of people. And then it's really just the 6 and the 7. And I love when Trigger's like, McKenna, be reasonable. It's 7 of us and 6 of you. And then a sniper shot takes out the one guy and he goes, where'd you do math? See, like, I don't know. Some of those lines are good, but I think it's just the fact that when there's so many of them, they don't land as well because you're like, oh, that's funny. It's like a comedian that has 50% of their jokes that are funny. They're not going to be funny because you're not like, it's not like that continuing roller coaster of, you know.
That's what it is. It was just overkill. It was way too many.
Yeah. Or it's like, or if you have like dialogue that's really on fire, like for example, like a John Wick movie where there might be like, let's say there's 15 one-liners in a John Wick movie, right? At least 10 or 12 of them are top notch. So even if a couple don't land as well, those 10 or 12 are carrying you through the script, right? So like with this, even if like the one, like the math one, that's pretty good, but we just sat through 25 that suck.
Yeah.
So even if that gives us like a slight chuckle, we're like, oh, fuck this movie. I'm done. I want to get up and I want to go home, you know? So that's why.
And
like,
you were already home watching that. So that's something.
Well, I think also that there's a point where it's got to slow down with the jokes, right? You take the first Predator, he's got a lot of one-liners in the beginning, and then later on, you don't have that many at all. It's the action.
Yep.
You know, this doesn't slow down.
Yeah, because the first one, you're looking at these guys, they're throwing one-liners, they're best of the best, top of the food chain, and then they come against something they don't understand, and now shit's real, and they're not joking anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they're just joke, before, after, and in between. Like, it makes no sense. It's just, I am surprised this movie didn't kill the franchise.
Well, like you said,
but now
Hulu,
the new one that's coming out, granted, it's a prequel and they're going a very different route, but they got a solid director on it. But I'm surprised they even want to deal with it. But now Disney owns it, so I guess they want to make something.
Yeah. But then when you get the Predator speaking using his translator, when he goes, "I'm going to destroy the ship." And now I want to hunt you. And then I love my favorite part of the whole thing was the timer that he used to give them a head start. It started at 7 minutes and 33 seconds. Well,
that was alien time.
That was alien time.
I hated this. I hated that he spoke like that. I hated it. Because in the first one, he just mimics. You know, and I like that. That was good. This is like,
which they touch on in this too. They touch on like the mimic thing, but then it turns into this one having like a translator, which
I don't know.
And you can get far.
Maybe in a better movie.
Yeah.
Maybe in a better movie, we wouldn't be criticizing it as much, but
but
again, it's kind of like you're messing with the formula.
Correct.
Now.
But no, it's 7 minutes and 33 seconds. They get, when the timer's off, when it's done, he's there so fast. Like, he pulls the one guy in the tree, and then I love the other guy that gets his wrist shot. Like, his wrist gets shot. Like, his hand falls off.
Oh, his hand gets cut off.
And he's bleeding. Yeah. And what does Traeger do? He shoots him in the head.
Oh, suffering.
Put him out of his misery. He's useless to him now.
He could have survived.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he's probably going to bleed out.
That's true.
See, I was thinking they would do the Apollo Creed from the first one, Carl Weathers. His arm is shut off.
Yeah.
I think that's a throw to the first one.
But he goes out a hero.
Yeah.
He fights to the last.
This whole scene, just again, I think because they should have killed people off like, I don't know, just like sooner. Like, there's just too many people left that we care about. Like seeing those first two guys, they were no-name guys that we didn't know. So that makes sense. Like, whatever. But I did like, I enjoyed the way Traeger died. That was awesome. The fact that he gets shot in his own head. That's great.
Well, they called a truce, right? At this point.
Yes.
Which I found kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why, but how can you possibly trust during a truce?
No, I would not trust that guy at all. He tried to kill my kid.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
God. And then we get like Baxley and Coyle, which is cool because you saw like the way they go back and like just that they put them together. I guess that made sense. But the fact that we mentioned before, Thomas Jane jumps onto the burning Predator with a knife, he's stabbing him, he gets thrown off of him, he gets stuck onto a broken branch. And then Keegan Michael Key, he gets what does he just get thrown? He gets thrown on the ground by the Predator?
I feel like he's got no skill whatsoever in this movie.
No, I don't know what he was in the military.
He was the cook.
They say it. He was. I forget what he. I thought he was like a sniper too. He did something where he wasn't like really hands on.
They're all snipers. It seems like everyone's a sniper.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way they die,
an airman, something.
That was cool.
Yeah, but what if one shot earlier than the other?
He was an infantry guy. Because remember his story is that he killed his guys. He like
Nebraska
shot all his own guys.
Nebraska, right? He killed his commanding officer.
No,
Keegan.
Keegan.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah,
he's the one that snaps, and then you find out that Baxley was the lone survivor of the people he was shooting at, and then they became friends.
They say that in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I missed that.
Remember the what are they talking about? They're either in the house or the motel, and I think it's like Lynch or one of them is like. That's why he's fucked up the way he is. Baxley is the lone survivor, and then McKenna's like, how are they friends? And they were like, oh, because you're sitting there day after day at like the hearings and stuff, and they're just like they just talk to each other. Now they're
I missed
friends.
this too.
I missed that whole thing.
Yeah, it's
holy shit.
I totally missed Traeger's death. I started zoning out by this point.
Oh, Traeger's death is worth it. No, his death's worth it. But no, then they shoot each other at the same time. But I think I know you're gonna say, Jamie, like, what if one missed?
Yeah. What if either one misses or one shoots quicker than the other?
Yeah.
And now you're stuck there.
Why didn't they just kill themselves? I guess they couldn't do that.
Why?
I don't know. If they didn't want to miss, if they had a fear of missing.
Wait, fear of missing their own head?
No, I'm saying you're saying if they shot at each other, they could have missed. So yeah. why would they?
Why would they make sure for a sure shot in their own head?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. And you were saying I wasn't saying that.
No, but I also said, like, what if one shot earlier than the other because they shot the exact same time?
Yeah.
And now he's stuck there. Like the guy's stuck in a tree now.
And he lives and he's living out there. Becomes friends with the squirrels. He's cursing at them. It could have been like a whole thing. Well. But God. And then just like from there, it seems like it's still super dark out, right? Because then like right after this, when they're walking through the woods, it's daytime. Because right from here is where we get right the force field. Yeah, dude, they're already on the ship.
Can you breathe? Like, do you think you could breathe under a force field?
I don't know.
I guess it trapped in the
air
atmosphere.
I mean,
yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That whole scene. So the Predator steals Rory for what reason? I don't know. Does he's like, well, this kid knows the technology, or is he taking him because he's so smart and he's like a perfect specimen? Is that like the human DNA that they want to steal?
That's what I was thinking.
Is that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. Oh, God, they go into that too. the line that Olivia Munn has about, again, this so cringy and so I don't always like to use the word problematic because it's kind of thrown around a lot. But saying that this kid with autism, or that some people, and this is actually a true thing. There are some scientists that think that autism is the next step in evolution.
That's what she said.
But that's kind of been, even by the time this movie came out, which was 5 years ago or so, that was already kind of being like frowned upon. So,
and they're like, let's run with it. Let's not take it out of the movie.
Another issue with this movie.
But yeah, within seconds they're on the ship.
Yes, that's exactly why he's taking him.
Yeah, so they get on the ship pretty quick, right? Like he's flying the ship right from that same area they're in. But man, when that force field comes on, and Nettles, what a way to go for Nettles. Yeah. He had split right, and he's like, and his face, you feel it. He did that in some studio, green screen all around him. That was actually pretty good because his reaction was like, "Oh no!" And then he just his half body like Lance Hendrickson in Aliens. He's just like a torso falling off this thing like a slide.
Just leaving blood
sliding right
down the side of the shield.
God, but what Nebraska does, I think that's why so badass, because he was going to die anyway, because the ship was obviously just going up and up and up, and he was going to die. But the fact that he dives into the friggin' engine or into the turbine, that was just
good aim.
Good. Oh yeah, that was really good. Do they practice that in the military? Do they do like drills like that?
I would say his death and Nettles are probably the only two that I kind of feel bad about.
Yeah, but he was suicidal anyway, wasn't he? Nebraska?
Yeah.
So Nettles he's just a different breed.
He did everything in this movie, really. He had a great speech. He he shot his shot with the doctor, and he went out on top. Well, on top. Well, his top torso went out, but his legs are still with the ship.
He literally went out on top.
He did. So then we get McKenna. He gets into the ship, and then and then pretty quickly, he gets done. So then this whole final, you always hope in movies like this when you see him that the final fight scene is gonna be something. It was just so quick.
It fell flat.
Maybe because of the cuts, Egan was saying, but it happened so fast. This whole final thing. Because I have 4 notes about the whole thing.
Yeah.
It went from him he gets dumped out, the ship crashed, he has a handgun going against the Predator, and then who saves him? Dr. Beckett knows how to use the invisible ball. When did he teach her about that? Did the dog teach her?
No one taught him how to use it.
Yeah.
Well, he did it by accident. The ball fell in his hand and he realized he went invisible, but he didn't give her that knowledge. For her to be able to use that. But I did like that he used the guy's arm against himself. His arm gets chopped off. I guess that's something, but it was so quick. You just hope that, I don't know, just that it's worth it. Whenever you watch any movie of this caliber or suspense or thriller, you're like, I want the end to pay off. And no, it did not.
I just don't think he's the kind of actor / character that would have a good standoff with that Predator anyway. It just doesn't fit.
Agreed. And he turns into a paraplegic. He's just laying there and he goes, "What are you?" And the Predator mumbles and he goes, "Shut the fuck up." And he shoots him in the head. That's what we're getting now?
Yep. I hated that. I hated that
so did I.
much.
Yeah.
Because it was it's that thing where it's talking directly to you, the audience, of, yeah, we know you've seen the better version of this and we're gonna make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
So instead of the back and forth like Arnold and the Predator have in the first one, this is just, oh, I shot you in the head, you're dead.
Yeah,
wink wink. Fuck you, I've got your $10.
Oh God. And then the first Predator leaves the plans on how to save Earth.
There's a gift. Like it.
Like,
oh, I hated that.
The suit, and then his final line in the movie,
and having the fact that
suit, Bubba.
Wait, and you have the autistic kid working for NASA. Or
oh my God! Yes, he has his own desk, and what's even crazier, maybe the dad was just playing off. He was like surprised to see him at that desk. Hey, nice desk.
Oh, you're here.
So stupid.
He's with the doctor now.
I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised he didn't walk up to him and go, "Hey, son, working hard or hardly working?"
Excuse me, I go by doctor.
But
so once we get to the end, I have some.
I think that's the end. I think that is the end.
The thing with the pod and everything.
Oh no! What was it with the pod? Was that's when Rory was in the pod, right? When they found him.
No, the thing in the lab at the end.
Oh, did I turn it off too fast? Oh, tell us.
The scene where Rory's at the desk.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and they have the pod thing in the lab.
Oh yeah.
And it opens up and like the armor jumps.
Oh yeah. That's when he says, "Oh, this is my new suit, Bubba. Do they got it in 42 long?"
Yeah. So that sequence was originally going to end differently. I don't know where it's changed or when it changed. At one point, it was going to be one of the versions of bringing Arnold into the movie. Arnold was going to be in the pod thing. Like, I don't know if he was going to be like frozen or like in the armor and whatever. Then at one point, it was supposed to be, wait for it,
Jesse the Body Ventura,
Ellen Ripley from Alien.
What?
Ripley?
Yeah. So let's put that in perspective. All of the Predator movies are set in the year that they came out.
Yeah.
Except for the second one. They bumped it up a few years. But it's like 87, 97, 2010, 2018. The first Alien is set in 2122.
Oh, it's way off.
The second one is 2179 after she comes out of the the
cryogenic
sleeper.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the third one's right after that. The third, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, but Ellen Ripley dies at the end of Alien 3 and is cloned in Alien Resurrection 300 years later. So about 2379.
So you're saying it would make sense for her to be there?
It would make all the sense in the world for her to come from the year 2379 as a clone and show up in 2018, because then they would have to introduce time travel. And not only that, I think they wanted Ripley, and at one point they also wanted an adult Newt to show up too, which does not make sense in its own way.
And they voted against this?
Not only I think did someone say this makes no sense, I'm pretty sure Sigourney Weaver said no. And she will say yes to almost anything now.
Oh man.
Can you
imagine?
God. Oh man.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I bet you now you know your history, you know all that kind of stuff. But if that happened, the audience would have went wild. They wouldn't even think twice about it.
Nah, they might have questioned. I would think Dutch, they go wild.
Yeah. Dutch would they go wild, but now you're seeing a big crossover. Like I don't think people would, I think they would. It's the shock value.
That's the thing. That's the thing too, is that would have had to been a jumping off point for redoing like an Alien versus Predator storyline, because the two Alien versus Predator movies that came out are basically multi-million-dollar fan fiction at this point.
Oh yeah, that's true too, because of the time.
Because of what Ridley Scott did with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, the alien origin stuff in that completely negates the AVP movies, because the AVP movies go into like the past of the Alien and the Predator and stuff. So those movies, this would have had to been like a jumping off point to start a whole new spin-off franchise.
Well, let's just be glad they didn't. So
yeah.
Hey, well, we need all the sequels we can get, man. No,
but now we're getting what sounds to be a good prequel for Predator on Hulu sometime this year, and of course now I can't remember his name, but the guy that created the Fargo TV series, Noah Hawley, the Fargo TV series, and that series Legion. It was an X-Men spinoff on FX. He's doing an Alien series also on Hulu. It was supposed to come out this year, but with COVID delays and such, I think it's coming out next year. So we've got a good director on the Predator movie and a good showrunner on an Alien show.
That's awesome.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that these franchises get
the right treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're starting to get all over the place.
Well, that was the Predator, and let's go with our guest first. Would you recommend somebody to watch this crazy movie?
No. I think it's a really bad movie. I think that Shane Black's prime is well past him. He's directed 2 good movies. He's directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and The Nice Guys, which have divisive opinions about them, but they're good. They're definitely good movies. But I think his really good script writing is well behind him. I can't believe Fred Decker was a writer on this either. I think that guy's been in director jail since '87. So
and then RoboCop 3, that was what really ended him.
Oh, that was
his last chance after the Monster
So
Squad.
I think it's 2 guys. I think it's 2 guys just like living in the past, and their sense of humor and their writing skills they just haven't upgraded. They haven't updated themselves. So I think if you're a completist for the series and the franchise, if you're like a mega fan, you're probably going to watch it, or you've probably seen it. But if you're going in, you're like, oh, what's this Predator stuff all about? Watch the first one, and if you like it, go to the rest. But I would say watch, if you like the first one, watch 2 and 3. Skip this one. Because even if you're not like a big on like Schwarzenegger or like horror sci-fi, there's no denying that the first movie it's a perfect engine. It's a perfectly crafted movie, even if it's not your cup of tea. So, to most people, I'd say no, don't watch this. But if you're like a big completist and you're like, I gotta see them all, then my recommendation is probably not going to stop.
Completists have the same motto as Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. Gotta see them all.
Pokemon.
All right, so that's 7 timer now. That's awesome, man. Jamie,
I'm with you, Egan. I think. Now I've only seen the first 2, and now this one, and I'm assuming the other ones, even Alien vs. Predator, will probably be better than this. So this movie, if you don't see it, won't affect anything in the storyline, I'm assuming. Right? So I would say pass on this unless you just want to say, I've seen all the movies. But I don't think it's going to hurt you not watching it. I found myself bored at some points of this movie. So I'm going to say no.
That gives somebody street cred. They go on a date. They're like, I've seen all the Predators. And it's like, some girl's like, no, I always say like, check out movies. Like if it's somewhere that it's free, I don't know, there's some good action in it. There's a great thing on YouTube. It's like 15 minutes. It's all the Predator fight scenes. I thought they were really well done. I really like those. But other than that, and maybe it's maybe like one of my rare skip ones. Because I don't know, I just didn't like, it wasn't funny enough. Some of the lines were great. So go on YouTube, like look up like the 4 funny lines in the movie. But other than that, it just, I don't know. It just fell flat. A lot of it.
I think that's the thing. You could go to YouTube, all the better action scenes and funny lines, and you'll be done in 6 minutes.
Oh, actually, I looked. Yeah. they just released the 4K box set for this series, and this tells you all you need to know about this movie. They released 2 versions of the set, one with it and one without it.
Wow,
that's amazing.
I bought the set without it, so to watch it, I was looking at like all the streamers and stuff. You had to pay for it everywhere. I don't know how you guys watched it, but I went to the library and picked up a copy, so I didn't have to pay any money.
Go to a library.
Support your local library.
Support your local library.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so that was The Predator. Again, thank you, Egan, 7-timer. So this is even the first time this ever has happened. So I don't have an interview in the can yet for Friday the 13th. That's coming up. But I have a few feelers out there. So while we're recording this, which is, I don't know, like 10 days or 11 days before Friday. No, that's bad math. Probably 18 days. So we have some time, but before the interview comes out, not as much time. So no matter what, me and Jamie will get a Friday the 13th to cover. We'll get someone. So that'll be something to look forward to. It's exciting to try to rush, I guess, to do this. I have one lined up, and I hope she comes through, but we'll see. But again, don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.